What is up, YouTube? It's ya boy, Smakin' Pie here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the nominees reveal of our 6th annual. Cannot believe that I'm saying these words, but we are 6th year of our Spooky Game Award. That didn't even make any sense. But welcome to the nominees reveal of the Spooky Game Awards 2025. This is going to be our biggest show yet. I know we keep saying that, but every year we keep raising it. This time we have over 16 categories across indie, mascot, all the way to fan games. So if your game didn't make the list, you can let me know down in the comments below. Also follow us on our socials, both on Twitter and Insta, as well as on TikTok. All the links will be in the description. Now we got a lot to go through, so without wasting any more time, let's jump into the final thing. The event will premiere on 31st of December. You can vote now. Link will be in the description. Top link in the description. You can vote now, right now as we speak. So without wasting more time, let us jump into it. So the first category is the best mod. This is only limited to Dark Deception, both Dark Deception base game and Monsters and Mortals mods. So here are the nominees. Hell mod for both Dark Deception and Monsters and Mortals. Five Nights at Freddy's mod for Monsters and Mortals. Undertale mod for Monsters and Mortals. Baldi's Basics mod for Monsters and Mortals. And finally, Just Another mod for both Dark Deception and Monsters and Mortals. The next category is a combined one for all the horror genres. Best narrative in a horror game this year. Here are the nominees. It is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. By Sweet Carol. Kronos, The New Dawn by Bloober Team. Dead Reset. Karma, The Dark World. Silent Hill F. Little Nightmares 3. The Midnight Walk. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. And Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Up next is Poppy Playtime Fan Game of the Year. We're adding it for the first time ever. There were some decent ones, so here are the nominees. Poppy Playtime Dark Directory by FGS Studios. Again, links will be in the description. You can check these games out for yourself. Poppy Playtime Fan Game by Sharky Craft MC. Poppy Playtime VR Chapter 1 Remake by Directive, and Pianosaurus by Directive. We'll have some guests announcing the winners of these categories. A lot of guests we got this time around. We got a whole jury. So if you want to join the jury selecting the winners, if you want to co-host the show with me, you can follow me on the socials as well as join our Discord link in the description. You'll learn the details there. But let's move on. Up next is Best VR Horror Game. We do this every year. It is an important one. It's going to build it towards the future. I think the future of VR horror in general is an important one for, well, all horror fans. But here are the nominees. Alien Rogue Incursion VR Phenomenal, Madison VR, and The Midnight Walk VR. Up next is Most Anticipated Bendy Fan Game, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the nominees. Bendy Runner by Sub, Shift in the Master's Pen by Ryguy and Co, Below Hell by Nide, and Gent Legacy of Darkness. Up next is the best performance in any horror game this year. It is a packed one. Here are the nominees. Ben Starr as Vinnie Monroe in Dead Take. Blair Green as Amanda in Amanda the Adventurer 3. Daniel S. Thrace as Cole in Dead Reset. Elsie Lovelock as Lan in By Sweet Carol. Kana Hanaiwa as Mita in Me-Side. and Konatsu Karo as Hinako in Silent Hill F. Most anticipated Dark Deception fan games. Here are the nominees. Dark Destiny, Dark Disillusion Chapter 3, Dark Deception Backrooms, Minecraft Mascots, and Shift in the Master's Pen. Up next is the Bendy fan game of the year. Even though with all the stuff that was going on regarding the fan game policies from Jojo Studios, Bendy fan games are still allowed, still in the works. And here are the fan game of the year nominees. Sock and the Dark Revenge, Alone Studio Turn on the Ink Machine, and Gent Legacy of Darkness. Up next is the most anticipated mascot horror game, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a huge list, so prepare yourselves for this one. Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, Dark Deception Chapter 5, yep, it's gonna drop this year. Bendy and the Ink Factory, Indigo Park Chapter 2, Garten of Banban 9, Finding Frankie, the sequel, Five Nights at Freddy's Abyss, title not confirmed, and Don't Fret. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, since we are on the topic of mascot horror, the mascot horror game of the year, here are the nominees, and it's again a huge list. Amanda the Adventurer 3, Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, Me-Side, Mr. Hop's Playhouse The Toy Box, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, and Slendy Tubbies 0. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we go back to fan games, Dark Deception fan game of the year. Y'all really thought we didn't get any fan games this year? We did, it's just I didn't cover a lot of them this year, but here are the nominees. Rogue Deception, Dark Deception The Last Nightmare, Night Shift with Gold Watchers, really funny game this one. Dark Deception Life and Death Remastered 1, Hell Deception Plus, and Up Deception. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, is again a big one, indie horror game of the year. Here are the nominees. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, Heartworm, Look Outside, Me-Side, No, I'm Not a Human, Skin Freak, The Midnight Walk, Tormented Souls 2, and Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Then we go back to FNAF fan game of the year. It's gonna be a tight one. I know it's a debatable one. I know people are gonna have their arguments on this one, so let's just go through them. Here are the nominees. 5 Newfangled Nights, Five Nights at Freddy's Re-Return 87, Banshee Fazbear Pizzeria Tycoon, Forgotten at Fredbear's, Animatronic Memories, and Next Week at Freddy's. Speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, here are the most anticipated FNAF fan game. We combined both the official Fanverse initiative as well as the normal fan games that we get. Here are the nominees. Blood and Gears, Pop Goes Evergreen, The Joy of Creation Ignited Collection, Five Nights at Candy's 4, just leave it at that, Spikes Ahoy! Exclamation. Forgotten at Fredbear's full game. I know it was just got nominated for FNAF Fan Game of the Year, but we're talking about the full game. That was the demo. And Animatronic Memories, The Final Laugh. Speaking of fan game, here are the nominees for the ultimate fan game of the year, combining all FNAF, Dark Deception, Bendy, and others as well. Here are the nominees. Forgotten at Fredbear's, Banshee Fazbear Pizzeria Tycoon, 5 Newfangled Nights, Rogue Deception, Dark Deception Life and Death, Sock and the Dark Revenge, and Animatronic Memories. Before we close out, here are the nominees for most anticipated horror game in general, not just mascot, indie, and other stuff. Resident Evil Requiem, Reanimal by Tarsier Studios, Fatal Frame 2 Remake, End of Abyss, Directive 8020, these are the Dark Pictures of course, Welcome to Doll Town, and Silent Hill Townfall, or any Silent Hill game that is due to drop. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final category, the ultimate horror game of the year. It's gonna be again a huge one. Again, just to remind y'all, we're gonna have guests that are gonna announce the winners of this. We're gonna have a couple segments that are not in the categories of the voting. Link is in the description for you to vote right now as we speak. And here we go. Ultimate horror game of the year. Kronos The New Dawn, Dead Reset, Heartworm, Karma The Dark World, Me-Side, No, I'm Not a Human, Silent Hill F, and The Midnight Walk. Ladies and gentlemen, these were your nominees for all the Spooky Game Awards categories. Yes, categories. Make sure to mark the date, which is 31st of December, later this month. You can vote right now as we speak. A link in the description. The voting stays open till 20th of December, so you have like 10 days to vote as much as possible. More surprises will be announced on our socials, shorts here, and post on our YouTube community tab, as well as our TikTok, X, and Insta. So you can follow us there at the Spooky Game Awards on Twitter and the Smack Pie on TikTok and Insta. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a huge one. There are some surprises that are gonna drop your jaw across the fan games, across the normal horror games. We got a huge batch of trailers, teasers, and new announcements that are just gonna make you go, wow. It is a good time to be a horror fan in general. Susu for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and peace.